up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. Happy Monday. We're back after a long holiday weekend. How's everyone doing today? Let's see who we got here. Hey, Marvel. I'm good. How are you? Hey, Climinator. The party was good. A little too much fun. I apologize if I seem a little tired today. There's been a lot of partying lately. You know, I've had birthday parties, weddings, 4th of July, a block party the next day. Like, it's been a lot, but we're back full time. I'll be doing live streams almost daily. So I think my schedule is pretty clear for the next 2 weeks at least. Have you seen the 1989 horror film Warlock? I have not. It stars the late Julian Sands, Richard E. Grant, and Laurie Singer, who I had a mad crush on when I first watched it. I'll have to check it out. I'm not familiar. Hey, Noah, welcome. Hey, Denisha, thanks for joining. Thanks for moderating, as always. Hey, Chris. Hey, Scream fan. Hey, Pyro. It's been a little while, I think. I haven't been streaming that often lately. Hey, Barry. Yes, Monday Blues big time. Like I said, there's just been so many parties lately. Trying to get back into the swing of things. Hey, The Roll. Scream fan says, I think Roman is actually getting to be my favorite. He is now my second favorite. Interesting. Who's your number one? Hey, Chocolate Eyes. Thanks for being here. Are you going to see Longlegs? Yeah, eventually. I don't know if I'll go to the movie theaters to see it. I don't go to the movies that often, honestly. Like, there's not a theater that's super close to me, so I kind of have to travel a little bit, which, you know, is not that big of a deal, but it takes a lot to get me to go out to the theaters. I really want to see Maxine. I've been really looking forward to Maxine, so I might actually go sometime during the week to go see Maxine. Longlegs comes out this Friday, right? Did anyone here see Maxine? Without giving any spoilers, please. I don't want to be spoiled. But let me know how you liked it if you saw it. Which Screencast member would you want to meet in real life the most? Definitely Matthew Lillard, although I would be so nervous. I always say this all the time. Like, I have never been to any conventions. I want to, but at the same time, I would be like so nervous to actually meet them. I'd rather like admire them from afar. But one day, it's got to happen. I got to meet them. Another good one is The Hitcher, 1986, original or 2007 remake. Don't bother with the 2003 sequel. All right, I got to check that one out too. There are so many movies that I honestly have not seen, so I got a lot of work to do. I agree, Scream fan. Stu is my favorite. You guys all know that. Can't wait for him to come back in Scream 7. Everyone I know, Roman is their favorite. Yeah, there's a lot of Roman fans out there. I feel like I see it more on my TikTok there's a lot of Roman fans on TikTok. It's interesting how TikTok and YouTube are very different. I feel like I have a much different crowd on both platforms. But yeah, on my TikTok, there's a lot of Roman fans and Scream 3 fans. Like, a lot of people on TikTok, Scream 3 is their favorite, which I love that, you know? Like, it's Scream 3 is probably my least favorite, but I love that there are people out there who have it as their number one. That's a great thing about this franchise. Like, everyone's opinions differ so much, and it keeps things interesting. If we all thought the same thing, it would be so boring. What should we talk about? We can talk about anything. We can get into some Scream theories, which we usually end up getting into during these streams. But we can talk about anything. Other horror movies. Oh no, Barry. Yeah, I hear very mixed reviews about Maxine. Some people love it, some people hate it. Some people I don't know. I've heard that like people were kind of expecting it to be like a slasher, and it wasn't that much of a slasher. It was more of like a crime movie. I don't know. I am still looking forward to it. I think Mia Goth is a great actress, so I'm still looking forward to it. I stumbled upon the end of your last post and couldn't write. What would the Stu, Kirby, Charlie trio be like for Scream 7? I mean, I would love for that to happen. I've always said, like, I would love for Kirby to be a Ghostface. Don't know if they'd ever do that. I feel like they don't have the guts to do it. And there was a time where I did believe like Charlie might still be alive. I don't still believe that, but I would love if this trio was a thing in Scream 7. But I just don't see it happening. Is the new movie Maxine a direct prequel for Maxine and X? It's a sequel. It's a sequel to X, which I just rewatched the other night because I heard that the stories are very connected. And if you haven't seen Pearl, that's a different thing. But like X is very connected to Maxine. So I did rewatch X the other night. Solid movie. Modern horror sucks. Scream 6 saved it. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, these days, it's like so hard to make a good movie. I'm a sucker for rewatching old movies. Like, I just feel like most new movies I do get disappointed with. And Scream 6 is kind of, it didn't really, I don't know. I have some issues with Scream 6. It was good. I still love Scream 6. But there were plenty of issues with Scream 6 as well. Hey, Eunice. How you doing? Thanks for being here. I posted a video today for channel members. I don't know if you checked it out. But if anyone here wants to become a channel member, to check out that video, I believe the link is in the description of this live stream. Hey, Ray. Sistapam fam gang in the house. Nice. Hey, Homer Hat. I just saw a French creature spider horror movie called Infested. It came out last year and was really great. Interesting. I will have to check it out. Other than Ghostface, who is your favorite slasher? Definitely the Halloween franchise. I feel like I was obsessed with Halloween before I was obsessed with Scream. I grew up watching Halloween as a kid. So definitely Michael Myers. I'm also a big fan of the Chucky movies. In Scream 3, Sydney asks Kincaid, "What's your favorite scary movie?" And he replies, "My life." I wonder what kind of horrors he went through. I kind of feel like he was just referring to like his job as a homicide detective. He's probably seen some crazy shit. Hey, Jamie. Welcome. Barry gives Maxine a 6 out of 10 tops. Okay. That's not too terrible. Could be worse. Could be like a 2. That would really suck. Not really horror, but have you seen Joker with Joaquin Phoenix? What did you think? I really like that movie a lot. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't. I saw it in theaters when it came out. What was it, 2018? I could be wrong, but it's been a while. And I saw it in theaters and I loved it. And it wasn't until like a month ago I rewatched it. Still holds up. I thought it was great. Joaquin Phoenix was great in it. And I'm looking forward to the second one. I think it comes out in October. And I know this one's going to be like a musical, which I'm not mad about. So definitely looking forward to Joker 2. I also really liked the Batman with, what's his name? Robert Pattinson. They're working on a sequel for that also, which I think got pushed back by like a full year. Hey, Tiger Lord. I don't see the appeal of 5 compared to 4 and 6. 4 I loved in theaters. 5 I was disappointed. 6 is closer to 4 in my opinion. So I love Scream 4. That's my favorite sequel. After the original, it's my favorite. I kind of think I like 5 more than 6. That might be a hot take or controversial. I do feel like 6 has a lot more fans. It's honestly so tough to rank these movies because I love all of them. And I do feel like my ranking can change over time. But I do think, in my opinion, I think 5 feels more like a Scream movie than 6. 6 almost feels like a spin-off in a way, if you know what I mean, which is still fun. I still love it, but I think I like 5. Just the fact that 5 takes place in Woodsboro, that's my favorite setting for Scream movies. I think that's a big reason why I like Scream 4 so much. You know, I know it's been done, and some people say, like, you know, let's go to new locations. And I love that 6 took place in New York. I mean, I was born and raised in New York City, so I really love that aspect. I wish they actually filmed in New York. It's a bummer that they didn't. But Woodsboro is just my favorite location for Scream. So that's a big reason why I like Scream 5 more than Scream 6. Also, Scream 5 just had bigger deaths, obviously. Like, Dewey was the biggest death since, I mean, I guess since Randy in Scream 2. And Judy. Judy was a big one for Scream 5. Scream 6 had no big deaths. Gail, I'm sorry, but Gail should have died in Scream 6. I'm happy that we get to see her in Scream 7, probably. She hasn't been officially announced, but I would love it if Hank Loomis was Ghostface, as it would bring everything back to 96. Interesting. That definitely would be interesting to see. I definitely want to see Hank Loomis again. Whether he's Ghostface or not, I would love to see him again. You know, he's technically Sam's grandpa. So it's a bummer that she's not going to be in Scream 7, because it would have been cool to see them interact. Kirby would have known if any of the past killers survived. I doubt she'll be in Scream 7. I do believe that Kirby knows that Stu's alive. I have a bunch of theories on this on my channel. You know, as an FBI agent, she can't share certain things with Sam and Tara and the Core 4. She can't just straight up tell them, listen, guys, Stu's alive. This is like, in my opinion, probably like a top secret investigation, and she can't reveal anything until the time is right. Please go check out my Kirby theories on this if you haven't seen them. I do think there's a very good chance that Kirby knows Stu's alive. Just like one of the clues that point towards this is her conversation with Mindy in Scream 6 in the shrine. Kirby says, the TV that killed Stu Macher. And Mindy says, yeah, if you believe he's really dead. And notice the look that Kirby gives Mindy. She gives her like a little suspicious look, like she might know something. And Kirby didn't refute what Mindy had to say. Like, don't you think Kirby would have been like, that's crazy. Like, of course he's dead. She didn't say anything. And I think that says a lot. So I guess we'll see. I hope Kirby's in Scream 7. I know there's a lot of people who don't want Kirby in Scream 7. They feel like her character was kind of butchered in Scream 6, which I can understand. I understand where they're coming from. I enjoyed her character in Scream 6. I think she was in a good amount of scenes. I think she played a pretty good role. I do think it's a shame that she kind of like sucked at her job. They could have written that a little better, but I think she was in the movie a good amount. And I do think there's plenty of room for her in Scream 7, especially since Dewey is no longer with us, or Judy. We need someone to fill that role of a cop. So I think it should be Kirby and Mark Kincaid. You know, as a detective and an FBI agent, we need people who are the cops because we no longer have Dewey or Judy. Sydney, Gail, and Kirby need to be killed by Stu. Jill and another Ghostface if there's more than 2 or 3. Yeah, I definitely think Gail should be killed by Stu. Kirby, I kind of want to see Kirby go on for a few more movies. Because especially if we're going to lose Gail, I always love to see like a legacy character go on. And, you know, we're not going to have Gail. I'm assuming we're not going to have Gail going forward after 7. I do think Gail's going to die. Sydney, I don't know if they'll kill her off, but we also don't know if she's going to be in future sequels. She might not be. There is a rumor that her daughter is going to be the main character moving forward. So Sydney might not be in future sequels. And I personally do want to see Kirby survive for a little longer. So I guess we'll see. But I kind of agree with you with Gail. I do think Stu should kill Gail. If anyone's going to kill her, it should be someone, that she faced off with in the original. Pyro's favorite is Scream 2. Nice. I think Scream 2 is probably my second favorite sequel. I think for me it goes 1, 4, 2, 5, 6, 3. Have you seen the trailer for Longlegs? I actually haven't, but I saw something today about the main actress. I can't remember her name. There was some kind of trailer where they revealed that her heart rate hit like 170 beats per minute when she first saw Nicolas Cage. So that got me pretty interested. I do have to check out the trailer. Yes. Scream and Halloween, definitely top 2 for me. It doesn't get better than those two. We obviously wouldn't have Scream without Halloween. Speaking of Chucky, have you seen the TV show? I have. And then Homer Hat says, are you caught up on the Chucky TV series? Yes, I am. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little disappointed with it. It cannot compare to the movies, in my opinion. So I really enjoyed season 1 of Chucky. I thought season 1 was great. Season 2, I really did not enjoy that much at the time. But now when I compare it to season 3, I like season 2 more than season 3. I think season 3 was a big letdown. I don't know if you guys agree. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it was very slow paced. The finale was a little disappointing. My favorite part of the finale was just seeing Fiona as Charles. That was great. I do hope it gets renewed for season 4, but they're kind of taking their time announcing that. And we do have confirmation on another Chucky movie. So hopefully the movie's a lot better than the show. With the Hollywood realities brought to light in Scream 3 and the third act of The Perfect Mansion, I think it easily deserves to be the best after the first movie. Yeah, I mean, I like Scream 3. It's just not my favorite sequel. I do think it's my least favorite sequel. I'm kind of torn between Scream 6 and Scream 3. I don't know which one's my least favorite. It might change over time. But I do think as of now, Scream 3 is my least favorite. Why do I feel like Pam might become a DC fan? It's not my favorite. I don't know. I think I like Marvel a little bit more. Let's see. The chat scrolled away from me, of course. Being a fan of the Friends TV show, naturally I loved Courtney Cox as Gail in Scream. Have you seen Friends? I have seen Friends. And you know, I don't love Friends. I like it and I watch it, but in my opinion, it's not that funny. I might get some hate for this. I personally really love How I Met Your Mother, which I do think wouldn't exist without Friends. But I just think How I Met Your Mother did what Friends wanted to do way better. That's just my opinion. But I do think that Courtney Cox is a great actress because I have said before that her as Monica and her as Gail feel like two completely different people. It doesn't even feel like it's the same person. So she's definitely a great actress. I've just been killed by Ghostface on Dead by Daylight. I've never played it. People always tell me I should get into it. Yeah, Gail should have died in Scream 6. I'm sorry. I shed a tear for her in that scene when she says, "Tell Sydney he never got me." That would have been a great send off for her. However, I do think that Sydney should be present for her death. So I'm kind of torn on how I feel about her surviving Scream 6. I can see her in Scream 7 kind of sacrificing herself for Sydney. Because I have said before, like, Gail doesn't really have a family, and Sydney does. So I can see Gail sacrificing herself so that Sydney can go on living for her family. I love Gail, but her arc is long over. Time to go. Yeah, I agree. If you got casted in Scream 7, who would you be, the survivor or the killer? Um, honestly, it would be an honor to be both, to be either one. But I think I'd rather be a survivor so I can go on to be in the next movie. Do you prefer silent killers like Michael Myers or like Ghostface who speaks? Definitely Ghostface. I like a killer with a little bit more personality. Obviously, Michael really doesn't have any personality. Um, so yeah, I definitely prefer a killer who speaks and has a personality like Chucky. That's kind of why I like the Chucky movies because he's actually funny. Um, you know, I like Freddy Krueger because he has a personality. And that's kind of why I don't like Jason Voorhees because he's another one who never talks. So yeah, definitely I definitely prefer one who speaks. Do you think Stab is going to play a part of Seven? Like, is there going to be a new show or a movie being made surrounding the events of the other movies? I hope so. I feel like there are a lot of people out there who are kind of done with the whole Stab storyline. I like it. I want to see it continue. It doesn't need to take up a lot of the movie. I do think, though, that Gail is going to be hosting a true crime show because she kind of hinted at it in Scream 6. She, Tara said something to her like, I heard you couldn't get the movie rights. And Gail said, it's all about true crime limited series now. So I can just see Scream 7 returning to Hollywood to kind of mirror Scream 3, because we know these new movies are mirroring the originals. And I could see Gail hosting a true crime show. And something that I've said is I would love to see some footage of Jennifer Jolie. She was in Scream 3, so this would just be another way for Scream 7 to mirror Scream 3. And a fun way to see Jennifer Jolie again without, her still being alive. I know there's people out there who think Jennifer Jolie's still alive. I'm not crazy about that idea. But I would like to see her again. So we could have some old Stab footage included in Gail's true crime show, maybe some old cast interviews. That would be cool. So I would like to see Stab somehow included, and I think that would be a good way to have it included, Gail's true crime show talking about the real life events and the Stab movies. Dewey's still alive? I don't think so. I know there's a lot of people out there who like that theory. As much as I would like to see him again, I'm not crazy about that. Thing is, 6 has more humor like 4 did. 5, all it has going for it is Dewey's death for me, and the shock value doesn't hold up. I've grown to like Amber more, but they overhyped 5 in my opinion. Those are all valid points. I agree. 6 had a little bit more humor to it. I've also grown to like Amber a little bit more. I didn't really like her in my first watch or second watch, but every time I rewatch it, I do like her a little bit more. I definitely like Amber more than the Scream 6 Ghostfaces. That's for sure. Pyro's ranking is 2-1-5-3-6-4. Interesting. It always blows my mind when people like 2 more than 1. That's just crazy to me. I'm sorry. I always say like it's so cool that we can all have different opinions, and I love that we have differing opinions, but this one, I'm not gonna lie, is crazy to me. Like, I just can't imagine liking 2 over 1. The only way that I can see that being possible is if for whatever reason you saw 2 first. Like you were young when you saw them and you saw Scream 2 before you saw the first one. Just for me, nothing will beat the original. As well as another Chucky movie, we are also getting another Nightmare on Elm Street. It's probably going to end up being a sequel to the 2010 remake. Is this confirmed? I don't think this is confirmed. I think this was a rumor floating around a few weeks ago. I heard something about that, but I don't think it's confirmed. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, Alex, welcome. Hey, Isaiah. I'm good. I hope you are as well. Hey, Ghostface. To be fair, Chucky season 3 did have the writer's strike. It might have hurt the season finale. Also, Sci-Fi and USA keep promoting the show, so I think season 4 will be announced soon. Yeah, I do think the writer's strike kind of killed the momentum, and that sucks. But I agree with you. I do think there will be a season 4. I do think it's popular enough. But then again, you never know. Like, popular shows in the past have been canceled, so we just never know. But the fact that they have another movie coming out, I do think we'll get a season 4. If the opening scene of Scream 7 were the death of Sam and Tara, the IMDb score would increase by at least 1 point. I hope they don't choose to like kill them off screen like that. I think that's a little unfair. Because I am hopeful that they will return in the future. I think it could happen. I have a feeling they're going to address their absence kind of the way they addressed Sydney's absence in Scream 6. Just like 1 or 2 lines of dialogue, you know, the way Gail said Sydney took Mark and the kids somewhere safe. She deserves her happy ending. I think they're going to say something like that and not spend too much time on it. I don't dislike Friends. It's just not my favorite. I still like it. If it's on cable, which it is every day, I'll put it on. It's just not my favorite. Should Wes have been Amber's partner instead of Richie? Basically wanting to get Judy's attention for being in Sydney's shadow. Amber betrays and kills Wes, thinking that it's a stupid motive. To Jill? I don't know. It probably would have been more of a shock if Wes was the partner rather than Richie. You could kind of guess that it was going to be Richie. I do think Wes would have been more of a shock, but I like Wes, so I don't know if I would want him to be Amber's partner. Which Scream character would you want to meet if you could spend a day with them? Character-wise, Randy. I love Randy so much. Why does everyone always say the original is the best? It's not always true. So it's not always true for every franchise. I agree with you there. But as far as Scream, it's the best. It's such a perfect movie in my opinion. Nothing will ever beat the original. No sequel will ever beat it. I love Scream 4 so much, but it can't beat the original. Bye, Pyro. Thanks for stopping by. It's obvious that you don't like Scream 3, but at least tell us that you like Jennifer Jolie. Yes, I love Jennifer Jolie. I was just saying that a few minutes ago. She's my favorite part of Scream 3. I love her. She's definitely in, I think she's in my top 10 favorite characters. I think I just posted a video a few weeks ago ranking my top 10 characters. If she didn't make the top 10, she was definitely an honorable mention. I love Jennifer Jolie. She's so funny. I guess maybe Scream 7 can be the end of Sydney, Jill, and Kirby. And after Scream 8, we're going to see Sam, Tara, and Mindy. Yeah, I hope we can see Sam and Tara again one day. No. But Jamie Kennedy, who plays Randy, has said that he does think Melissa Barrera will be back one day. He doesn't have any like inside information, but that's just what he feels because he attends these conventions with her and he sees the love that the fans have for her. So he does feel like she will be back one day. Hey, Random Edits. How you doing? I'm so happy Scream is back to focusing on Sydney and not Sam. I am happy that we're back focusing on Sydney. I am bummed that Sam is not going to be in it. I think she was a great final girl. You know, if it wasn't going to be Sydney, I think she was great. I did really love Sam. But, you know, now that we don't have Sam, I am happy that we're back with Sydney. I would not have been that happy if it was going to be like another random person. You know, I think the best move was going with Sydney. So, okay, I'm not ending the stream yet. We're still going to go for a little while, but I do have to take a quick break. I'm breaking one of Randy's rules, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Submit your comments and questions. All right, I'm back. If Stu Macher will not be in Scream 7, who do you think the killer will most likely be? I feel like if it's not Stu, it's just going to be another random person, unfortunately. I hope not. Like, if it's not Stu, knock on wood, I prefer it to be someone, another returning Ghostface, like Jill. I'll take Jill if it's not Stu. I'll still be bummed, but I don't know. We have talked about before, like, apparently there's a rumor that Scream 7 is going to be the start of another new trilogy. And if that's the case, they might want to save Stu for like Scream 9 as like the grand finale of this new trilogy. Because I do feel like Stu was always meant to be the grand finale, which would have been Scream 7 with 5, 6, and 7. But now, if 7 is going to be the start of a new trilogy, they might not want to bring him back in 7. I don't know. I do feel like this is always what they've been leading up to with 5 and 6. You guys know all the Stu clues in 5 and 6, so it'll be a shame if he doesn't come back in 7. But also, there's another rumor that her daughter is going to be the main character moving forward. And if that's the case, they might want to bring Stu back in 7 to have a final showdown with Sydney to then move on. Like, you know, wrap the storyline with Sydney and Stu, and we can move forward with her daughter and like new ghost faces. Do you think the scene where Jill Roberts self-harms after she's done might be the most epic moment of the series? It's definitely one of the top moments. I don't know if it's the most epic. Best part of Chucky season 3 was Kenan Thompson, hands down. Kenan should be in Scream similar to the role of Anthony Anderson in Scream 4. Basically a cop that's also funny. I forgot that he was in season 3 because there was such a big gap between part 1 and part 2 of season 3. But yeah, that was a good scene. And that's a good point. I think he would be good as a cop in Scream. That would be fun to see. Hey, Puppyzilla. How you doing? Friends and Scream are both NYC. Imagine if Monica and Gail met. Or at least Monica saw Gail on TV. That would be funny. I made it back. Does anyone else love the Texas Chainsaw remake with Jessica Biel? Yeah, I love it. I just put out a video today only for channel members. So if you're not a channel member, unfortunately you can't see the video, but I shared, I think it was 11 movies that I've been watching recently, and Texas Chainsaw 2003 was one of them, and I really enjoyed that movie. I personally don't care for the original. It's kind of boring in my opinion. I do appreciate what it did for horror at the time, but it's a little slow paced for my taste. But that's probably just because my attention span is shot. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw 2003 is very good. Amber was barely in the movie, but if she's your favorite, I can't go against someone's opinion. Jill is my favorite acting innocent and then a killer in the third act. Yeah, that's one of my issues with Amber. She's kind of like you said, barely in the movie, and when she is, her character is pretty dull, in my opinion. She is pretty boring pre-reveal. After the reveal, she's pretty interesting. Like I said, I didn't like her at first, but she has grown on me. Yeah, I can't imagine liking any Scream sequel more than the original. Scream 4 is pretty close, but can't compare to the original. We got a super chat from Dim. Hey, Dim. Thank you so much. Kincaid's scary movie, My Life, is more likely the title of 1993 Michael Keaton movie about a man diagnosed with cancer and given 4 months to live. I kind of remember you mentioning something about this in one of my streams. I had no idea that it's supposedly a reference to this movie. And I think I told you that I was going to check it out. And then you kind of said, don't watch the movie. It's not that good. If I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, I've never seen this movie. Thank you so much for your super chat, Dim. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'm probably going to go for another 30 minutes. I agree. I watched the remake, then saw the 1974 Texas Chainsaw and was underwhelmed, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so the original I actually watched for the first time like a couple months ago. And I was underwhelmed. It took a long time for anything to happen. It was pretty slow moving in the beginning. And then, the killings start to happen. And then that final act with Sally, it was, in my opinion, it was just drawn out a lot. The one scene when she's tied up, the family has her tied up to the chair. It's just a lot of her screaming, close-ups of her eyeball. I don't know. I just found it pretty boring. I was kind of wishing that it was over. I still have to see the sequels, but the remake, I liked the remake. I have one question. What would be the motivation for Stu apart from revenge? For me, I think that will take our cult all over the world and create the new Ghostface. And in Scream 8 or 9 with a soft reboot. I don't know. I do think that his motivation would be revenge, like you said. He's been plotting all these years. And I like the idea of that. Isn't it pretty annoying that Jenna Ortega is being tried to replace Sydney? I don't really think she was meant to replace Sydney. If anything, I think Sam was meant to replace Sydney. But I think there's room for all of them, in my opinion. The Stab 4 fan film had a hard drive, so some of the footage got deleted. So they have to refilm. I think it would be the best movie of 2024, even though it's a fan film. I don't know. I think, Damien, you were the one who had me react to the trailer last time. I wasn't that crazy about the trailer. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Is it not coming out in October anymore, or is it? Did you ever watch and like the Scream TV series? I did. Can't compare to the movies ever, but I do think it was pretty solid. Seasons 1 and 2 were great. I think there were some great characters. I do think the ending kind of sucked, and it sucks that we're never going to get a true ending to their story. And I also kind of liked season 3. I liked that they brought in the real Ghostface mask, and I really liked Keke Palmer. I'm a big fan of Keke Palmer, and I think the twist for season 3 was pretty good. Can you quickly say your ranking of the 13 Ghostface killers? Let's see. I did a ranking on my channel probably a year ago. Let's see. Let me see what my ranking was a year ago. Hold on. Okay, so number 13, I had Ethan. You guys know I don't care for Ethan at all. Number 12, I have Jason. I do count Jason as an official Ghostface. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't, but in my opinion, he had an official kill. He was wearing the costume. He had an unmasking. So in my opinion, he counts as an official Ghostface. So number 13 is Ethan, 12 is Jason, 11 Quinn, 10 Bailey, 9 Amber, 8 is Nancy Loomis, 7 is Richie, 6 is Roman, 5 is Charlie, 4 is Jill, 3 is Mickey, 2 is Stu, and 1 is Billy. Interesting. I think if I were to redo this video now, my ranking might be a little different, but not too different than what I just told you. But yeah, that's my ranking for right now. We got another super chat from Dim. Thank you so much. Should Ghostface alter the weapons to play with? Definitely would be very interesting to see that happen. It was cool that in Scream 6 we got the shotgun for the first time. That was new and different. However, I'm not too crazy about those ghost faces. So, but yeah, it would be cool to see Ghostface like wield an axe or something. Yeah, I do think Ghostface should change it up a little bit, especially 7 movies in. You know, we've gotten a lot of the same for 6 movies, so let's change it up a little bit. Thank you so much for your super chat, Dim. I appreciate you. Let's see where we are in the chat. It scrolls away from me a little bit. Apparently, folks at the movie theater left in horror in the middle of the Texas Chainsaw movie. Yeah, I can definitely, for the time that it came out in the 70s, like, I'm sure it was so different and crazy to see, but viewing it through present day eyes, I wasn't that impressed, which I do think is a little unfair. But it just was not my favorite. What do we do with Stu after he comes back? Kill him or prison? I do think he should die. I love him. I'm so looking forward to seeing him again. But I do think that they should eventually kill him with a definitive kill where there won't be any debate anymore. So they should like shoot him in the head or chop his head off or whatever. Something very definitive. One theory that I have is that the killers in Scream 7 will be a group of residents of Sydney's town who are jealous of her fame. I do not like this idea at all. Well, I do know there's a rumor that part of the casting, someone is going to be her neighbor who is not happy that she is a resident of their town. So I guess we'll see. I am just eagerly awaiting more news for Scream 7. It's been so long since we've gotten anything. I don't know what the holdup is. March was the last time we heard anything. As far as Neve Campbell and Kevin Williamson. Hopefully we get some news soon. I don't know. Let's see. They're still hoping to release in October. Could you possibly make a video on it? Because it looks fire that someone is really making stab movies. I have to look more into stab for the fan film. I don't know much about it, but I will look into it. Have you watched my Trail of Blood animated movie yet? It's a Scream type film with me doing voiceovers. I have not. Is it on your YouTube channel? I have to look into it. I think the ghost faces that were easiest to guess in the series were Richie and Amber. Their bodies were the ones you found easiest. I think I have to agree with you. I do think Richie and Amber were the easiest. For sure. Bye, Tiger Lord. Thanks for stopping by. Have you seen Harper's Island? A group of friends gather for a wedding and are killed off one by one. It's a really solid whodunit. It's been described as Scream meets And Then There Were None. I have not seen this, but I love a good whodunit, so definitely going to have to check it out. Billy, Roman, and Nancy have the best motive. I think I agree with you for the most part. I do think a revenge motive is always the best. So yeah. Yeah, Charlie is definitely in my top 5. I love Charlie. I know a lot of people don't like him, but he's one of my favorites. I guess maybe Samantera will be recast and killed in Scream 7 or 8. I hope they're not recast. I don't think they will be. In my opinion, I think they know that people will be more pissed if they recast them. In my opinion, I think it's better to just not include them at all than recast them. There's probably some people who disagree with that and might want to see them recast, but I don't. Who is your least favorite character in the Scream franchise? I really don't like Angelina in Scream 3. I also don't like Milton. What is the most Halloween movie theory that you heard? I don't know. You mean for the Halloween franchise? I don't know. I'm not big into Halloween theories, to be honest. Mostly Scream theories is what I get into. Have you seen both Orphan movies? If yes, which one do you prefer? I have seen both. If I'm being honest, I don't remember the second one that much. I'm the type of person who I need to watch a movie multiple times for it to like sink in. So right now I'm gonna say I prefer the original. The original was really good. What's your favorite Halloween movie? The original for me. Definitely the original. Totally agree. Usually, nothing beats the original. And that's the case for Scream and Halloween, in my opinion. Let's see. Climinator says, I count Jason as an official Ghostface. He killed someone with a clear intention of killing more. Got the unmasking. Definitely a Ghostface and definitely better than Torquay Ethan. Yeah, totally agree. Like we said, he actually killed someone on screen, had an unmasking. We got to spend a good amount of time with him, a whole opening scene, which is not the case for Greg. I personally don't really count Greg. We never met him. He didn't have an unmasking, nothing like that. So Jason definitely counts for me. Yeah, I like I like Jason more than Ethan for sure. I don't care for Ethan at all. You guys know this. If they do a cult of Ghostface, I don't know why they won't bring Stu back. I totally agree. There's a rumor going around that they will have a cult going after Sydney. A lot of different YouTube channels have reported on this. Don't know if the rumor is true, but if it is true, if there is a cult going around, why wouldn't they have Stu leading the cult? It just makes the most sense in my opinion. I mean, that was the original plan for Scream 3. So why not do it now? Hey, Craven. Thanks for popping in. Glad you're back on the scene. We've missed you. I missed your live stream the other day. I was out at a little July 4th celebration. I'm glad you're back. What would you think if it killed him and come back again? I assume you're talking about Stu. I don't know if I would like that. I do think if they're going to bring him back, either, keep him alive for the next one or kill him definitively. Don't, fake kill him again. But that's just how I feel. Hey, Silver Princess. Thank you so much for the super chat. I commented on one of your videos. Which one was it? It was about Daenerys Targaryen, and it wasn't your most recent video. I didn't watch the most recent one, but it was about Daenerys, and I loved it. I loved the artwork. I loved the background music. And it was a very good essay, in my opinion. I definitely have to check out some of your other videos because I did really enjoy it. Are you going to do any videos about House of the Dragon? Because I've been really getting into that show lately. Yesterday's episode of House of the Dragon was great. I don't know if you watched that one. You probably do as a Game of Thrones fan, but it was great. So yeah, I really enjoyed the one video that I watched, and I'll have to check out more. Thank you so much for your super silver. I appreciate you. Thanks for popping into the live stream. Let's see, I'm a little behind on the chat. Okay, Climinator, I'm going to have to check it out. You saw 2 trailers for Stab, and the first one you saw, you looked happy. The second trailer, you were meh. Yeah, the teaser, the original teaser looked good. The second teaser, it said it was a teaser, but it was like 5 minutes long, so so I wasn't really feeling that one. We got another super chat from Silver Princess. Thank you so much. Oh, thanks. That means a lot. I kind of want to wait until House of the Dragon is officially completed before I do any video on them. I ship Rhaenyra and Allison. So I feel like they should be together. There's some potential there, but I don't know if they would ever do that. And I don't know if that's a thing in the movie, the books, if they're together. But yeah, what was this? Episode 4 yesterday. So there's 6 more, I think. I don't blame you for wanting to wait until you get like the full story. Last night's episode was insane. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to next week's episode. I don't know how many of you here watch House of the Dragon, but you should. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you should definitely be watching House of the Dragon. It's very good. It's kind of been a slow start, in my opinion. Episode 1 was really good, and then 2 and 3 were kind of slow. But 4 was really good. Thank you so much for your super chat, Silver Princess. I appreciate you. Let's see, where am I at in the chat? Scream 6 is the weakest movie in the series because it is a movie where no one important dies and tries to deceive the audience with this as if it is a reverse logic. What do you think? I do think it's a bummer that no one important dies. That's kind of what you want from these movies. I did think Gale was gonna die. Didn't happen. Is it the weakest though? I don't know. I might like 6 more than 3. But I get where you're coming from. It was certain parts of it were disappointing. Hey, Steven. Dorky Ethan. Jason and Greg pretty much prove the cult of Ghostface theory. I've been calling for Stu's cult since Scream 5 and was stoked to see Jason in the opening wanting to finish Richie's movie. So there is the connection to Scream 5. I am with you, Craven. Totally agree. I totally believe that Jason and Greg were a part of the cult as well. Because like you said, they wanted to finish Richie's movie. There's no doubt in my mind that Richie, Amber, Jason, and Greg were all a part of Stu's cult. And hopefully it comes true in Scream 7. I'm probably going to go for another 10 minutes. So if you have any questions or comments, definitely send them in now, and I will try to get to everyone. Hey, Zork. Thank you so much for your super chat. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Also, what if Craven Something Scary was Ghostface? You didn't miss much. We're just talking Scream theories, other horror movies. If Craven was Ghostface, that would be pretty crazy. Thanks for popping in, Zork, but I do think I'm going to end the stream in about 10 minutes. I might pop on again later. I don't know. No promises. I do have to go cook some dinner and then eat dinner. Um, but I might pop on later. If not later tonight, then definitely tomorrow. I've kind of taken a little time off because with the holiday weekend, I just had a lot going on. I had birthday parties, weddings, 4th of July, block parties. But now I'm back full time. So I should be going live tomorrow. So definitely turn on all notifications so you don't miss it, because usually I don't plan these things ahead of time. I just kind of hop on here when I get a chance. So if you don't want to miss it, definitely turn on all notifications. But thank you so much for your super chat, Zork. I appreciate you. Let's see. I got a theory for you. What if Stu got so angry that his sister stole all of his attention away? He called all of the original killers from the past movies to kill Sid because their parents were to blame for them becoming murderers. I mean, I definitely would like to see some of the past killers come back. I don't know if they're going to do it. It might be a little too crazy. You know, like a lot of people have a hard enough time wrapping their head around Stu coming back. So to bring back another past killer might be a little crazy in their opinion. I would like to see Jill come back. But I don't know. I don't know if it would happen. Do you think Scream should ever go the new Nightmare route? I would love to see that. Yes. I have done a few videos on this. I just don't want to see it yet. I don't want to see it for Scream 7. But I could definitely see it happening down the road. I think Scream 7 should be a normal sequel. Bring back Stu. Let's wrap this story up. And then later down the road, we could do a new Nightmare movie. Do you think a reboot is the right way to go for future Scream movies? I've heard a bunch of people want that instead of a new trilogy. I think one day it should happen. I don't want to see it just yet. I want to see certain things get wrapped up. I want to see the Sydney storyline get wrapped up. I want Stu to come back. I do feel like we need some sort of conclusion with Sam and Tara. I know some people feel like Scream 6 was kind of a good conclusion for them. I disagree. I think we need a little bit more with Sam and Tara. But eventually down the road, yes, once these current storylines kind of get wrapped up, I would like to see a reboot because I do want to see this franchise go on for a long time. But like I said, I do think we need certain storylines to be wrapped up a little bit. Nicholas says, I wasn't really a Stu believer at first, never really thought about it much, but after watching your videos, I'm definitely on board now. Nice. Thank you so much, Nicholas. I appreciate that. I'm glad that I could convert someone into a Stu believer. Thanks, Craven. Talk to you soon. I doubt they'll bring them back. Most of them got shot in the head. I do think I do think there's a handful that were not shot in the head. Like Stu obviously wasn't. Mickey was not. Jill wasn't. Charlie wasn't. Bailey wasn't. And Ethan wasn't. All right, so I am going to end the stream now. We've been going for an hour and a half, which is awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you guys, your comments, questions, super chats for sure. Thank you everyone who sent in a super chat. I might, like I said, I might jump on here later, but I don't know for sure. If not later, then definitely tomorrow. But thanks so much for hanging out with me. And I will talk to you guys soon.